Should I shotgun a beer to start this?
I think I am 100% behind that.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
100% behind it.
But you got to do it like right in front of the camera.
I'm all about this.
I haven't shotgun a beer since Brainerd.
Oh.
It's been a whole fucking 2 weeks.
It's been a long time since I shotgunned a beer.
I don't know. I'm not even sure if I can
Before
do it.
that, it had been, well, since I was in college. Get the fucking squirt out of the fucking way here.
That's what she said. Then we're going to feed him some of this strong-ass whiskey. He's going to be feeling good right shortly.
Fucking drinking any of that.
Oh, you sissy.
Just an FYI.
You big sissy.
It's a good thing I'm thirsty.
You
You're
gotta
gonna
do it
have
on
to
the
like get
camera,
on
though.
your knees in front of Sam or something.
Yeah, get on your knees in front of me, Johnson.
Hey, first time you said that.
A PBR even. What a man.
He's
Look
not-
at
He's not
that.
messing around.
Oh, that's good.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, it goes down so smooth.
Chicks are looking at like, what did you just do?
That was impressive. Not gonna lie.
That
I struggle with
That was
shotgun.
pretty
At least I
fucking
did the
fast.
last-
Yeah,
though,
that
buddy.
was fairly
It's
impressive.
like, wow, that took like 3 seconds. I'm wondering though, how much of it did you let shoot out into the grass when you were out there punching a hole?
It just, when you first poke the knife in, I don't know how people do it like without getting a nice jet stream, but
And with that, there's nothing like a Sunday afternoon
I
shotgun
almost said on your
Of a PBR.
telephone.
of a PBR. So yes, this is episode 11. We're on episode 11 of the
Huh.
Life Short Live Free podcast.
We've done so many, I've just lost track.
I am your host, Sam. We're also with the 1911 Buddha that doesn't ever use 1911s anymore, Toad. We got Box in the middle. He's a little bit grumpy and not feeling so hot today.
Under
so
the weather.
a little under the weather, but it's all right.
I really wish people would stop touching.
And we got Manny Malfunction down at the end again.
Actually, hold on a second. Your gun was the last to malfunction today.
Yeah, it was. It was.
So your Manny
I'll be
malfunction
Manny
now.
Malfunction today.
I'm gonna have to turn that off.
I found out that mine's broke.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, Johnson's his P80 is a pretty much a malfunction powerhouse to say the least. And
It hasn't been lately. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, he thought he had it fixed, and
There we
it's
go.
since started screwing up on him again. But we found out he had the trigger housing pin
broke.
snapped in half today.
Plastic garbage. So guess what? Ordered titanium.
Yeah. But my I had an IWI Masada that I just purchased the other day and brought that out there for the first few shots. And I did. I had a few malfunctions with that. I don't know what was going on with it. Maybe I
Because you
just
didn't clean it initially.
actually it probably just needs a good cleaning and a little bit of lube.
So the story behind that whole deal is Box got that new Steyr L9A2 MF
Yep.
and didn't shoot it
The
for
man liquor.
how long?
It was only a week.
A week
Yeah.
is what you had it? But he had it when you guys did the review on the 365 XL, correct?
Yep.
Had it that day. Got it that day, but wouldn't shoot it because he wanted to clean it first. So we gave him a bunch of shit about that, but in the end, it never did malfunction when you first shot it, correct?
No, it did. I had two failures to extract.
Oh, that's
but
right.
The fun part I never told you guys is I never did get around to cleaning it before I shot it.
Oh my sweet lord.
That makes it even better.
Dude.
No, I want to clean it for that.
You know, he's probably gonna
Okay.
be be pissed when I tell this on air, but he sent me a Snapchat of it. He had it when he was sitting on the toilet one night.
I think I sent that to all you guys.
I didn't get
not
it.
ashamed.
I know I got it.
Really?
You could see. Well, it was.
I thought you guys
It
would
was a
enjoy
picture
that.
of him. His pants were down. You could tell he was sitting on the toilet, and then he had the
The
gun.
turlet.
He had the gun sitting in front of him. He's just like, man, I love this thing.
What were you doing? Hold on.
What were you
Now,
doing on that there
were you
turlet?
taking a dump or what?
I didn't.
What were you doing?
Trying to
And
mix,
looking at the gun and enjoying it.
he was trying to mix a batch of his own lube. Sitting there on that there turlet.
That's funny.
Sitting on a turlet, yeah. But let's be honest, we've all done that at some point in our life. Not even gonna lie.
No.
You've never brought a gun into the bathroom with you.
I
Why?
only did it just so I could send a stupid snap to you guys.
I might have when I finished that polymer 80. I was pretty enthused with it for a while. I don't know.
I don't
See,
think
and
I
he
ever
didn't
brought
e-
mine into
He
the
didn't even
into
do it for the
bathroom.
humor factor. I think he's creepier than I am.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Got a bit of a
boy, we
fetish.
took a hard left turn on this podcast pretty early. Anyways, this podcast is sponsored by Shireworks, of course. We do Cerakote, and we're Cerakote certified. Also make some pretty badass wallets. Speaking of which, why don't we? This one is the latest wallet, the wallet of the month, and what that is, we do a special print every month, and it's priced at $29.95, shipped to your door. That's about a $10 savings. That's just for the month, and then at the end of the month, it'll go up to the typical price of $35 plus shipping, of course. But this one is badass. It's got bullet print all over it. Those look like about .223 caliber. Pretty freaking sweet wallet. But anyway, it's got the integrated Kydex clip in it for your money. Cards slide in and out of it right nice like. It's everybody that has them loves them. They're pretty badass. So yeah, go to shireworks.com and pick one up if you like one. So yeah.
Sam, your terminology has been on point today.
Terminal
The
what?
turlet and right nice like. Just killing
He
the
says
game.
right nice light all the time.
Does he?
Yeah.
This is the
I've always heard
the
people
12
say
card?
real nice like, but
That
not
is
right
a
nice
no. That's a
like.
medium. That
That's,
fits 10 to
10 to
12. We have small, which
Up to
fits.
10.
Well, I just
12
want to say
is
thanks,
large.
guys.
Well, you can have it if you
So what
want. I
was
got to
it,
get some
7 to-
pictures of it first.
What are they?
It's-
5 to 7, 7 to 10, and 10 to 12.
Yep.
And even if you put one in them, they still fit just fine. So it'll stay in there just so. Pretty awesome. Check them out at shireworks.com. So yeah, how was how was you guys' weekend this weekend? We're just Sunday and about 3:00 right now. But how's your
I'm
guys'
trying to
weekend
think of
going?
what I did yesterday.
I drove through 4 states yesterday.
Yeah.
I started out. Well, I left Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock with my girlfriend. We went up to Leech Lake to Bayside Resort there outside of Walker. If you guys are looking for an awesome place to go fishing, I highly recommend them. Cabins are nice. Their boats are top notch, and the price, you just can't beat it. But we went up there and we caught the crap out of the perch. I mean, we had to catch over 100 perch in 3 days. The only problem was 7 of them were keepers. And then I caught some pretty nice walleyes, but we had a blast. And then, yesterday we left and we went to Itasca State Park. And Tasha got to walk across the Mississippi for the first time, see where it all starts. And if you've never been there, the beginning of the Mississippi River is about 20 feet across and about 1.5 feet deep.
Does that come out of a lake?
Yeah, like Itasca's where it starts. And then
Okay.
I want to say Lake Bemidji feeds into it. And then
Bemidji. I've always found
there's
that
several
word funny.
other ones that feed into
Bemidji.
it along the
It's
way.
just north of Grand Rapids,
Park Rapids.
Park Rapids. Yeah.
So then we drove home and we hit road construction, and so the GPS rerouted us into North Dakota. And then from there we went just straight down 29 to home, which, I was really impressed. My girlfriend bought this brand new 2018 Silverado LTZ, and my truck gets horrid gas mileage. This thing gets awesome gas mileage until you hit 85 miles an hour for 4 hours straight. And then it's just watch the fuel gauge go down.
I figured you guys would have taken your car. You took your truck, though, huh?
Yeah, we were gonna, but not all my fishing rods break down.
yeah,
So my 7-footers, they don't break down, so they didn't quite fit in the little car.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I noticed that I get mine's a 2017,
Mhm.
and I got on the highway I average 17, 18 miles a gallon. When I was coming back from Minneapolis the last time, I set my cruise at 97, and I got 10.
So you set your cruise at 97.
Yes. took I-30.
You realize what the speed limit is, right?
95.
Well, I mean, even at 85, even at 85, we were still getting like averaging like 15 to 17 miles a gallon. But on the way up there, we didn't take 29. We went to kind of the straight up from here.
Worthington.
And we were Worthington to Wyndham to Spicer up, and we were getting like 22, 23. And
the best I've averaged on like because it gives you like a 50-mile average. The best I've done is 26 in that truck. But
I get 12 in city, 15 on the highway.
Mine gets pretty much 8.
Luckily, I don't drive very many places.
I put those wheels and tires on, removed the whole lower half of the bumper, and put a leveling kit on, and I lost about 3 to 4 miles.
It's amazing how much aerodynamics do, isn't it?
Yeah, that front bumper, that whole plastic chunk of valance and everything, and that like chrome mustache and all that stuff in there. I ripped all that crap off because deer hunting last year was a little hard on the front of the pickup. Man, that's when I decided the leveling kit, wheels and tires, and all that stuff was necessary because we got a little buried in some snow last year, and I got stuck twice in one day, and that was enough to piss me off, and I got new wheels and tires and leveling kit like 3 weeks later. I was like, I'm done with this.
That'll do it. Yeah. Box, how about you? How was your weekend?
Well, Saturday morning I woke up about 7 o'clock. Told my boss I wasn't coming into work, and went out and laid on the couch and slept till about noon. And then I felt a whole lot better after that, so I took some pictures and shit. Edited the rest of the day. So,
do you got the brown bag flu or the actual flu?
I don't know what it is. I felt absolutely horrible after I got home from work Friday night, though. Whole body ached, and I don't know. I didn't feel like.
Do your nipples hurt? Are you pregnant?
I don't think I'm pregnant, but yes, the nipples are very sensitive.
You OD'd on Permanerp, didn't you?
Too much.
Damn it, I might.
There is some side effects to Permanerp, so yeah, you might want to...
Well, there's not a dosage recommendation on there, so I didn't know how much to use.
You're not supposed to bathe in the stuff, Box.
I just kept rubbing it on until my skin quit soaking it up.
Myself, I had an uneventful weekend, I guess. Thursday is actually the unofficial start of the weekend. I golf, of course, every night, Thursday night. Friday was pretty tame. Saturday I worked, and I was working Saturday. I was blasting it might have been Friday night, doesn't matter. But I was blasting some parts in my big blast cabinet, and a lot of these parts I was working on some older guns, and this was just little dinky parts. And I have a parts. I'll just put the little stuff in there, but it was too small even for that, and it slid through the thing, and it fell down onto my grate, and it was sitting there on my grate, and when it falls through the grate, there's no way to get that grate up other than unscrew like 15 screws, and just a massive pain in the ass. But the little son of a bitch just fell right through it. I was like, mother. And so what I did is I got a big tub, and I dumped out 50 pounds of aluminum oxide, which, if you know what aluminum oxide is, it's just very similar to sand, a little finer. This is 100 grit. And I sifted through that whole entire fucking thing, and it took me, I don't even know how long it took me. And I finally got through the whole thing, and it wasn't in there. It's not in there. I'm like, what? No, where did it go? Where could it have possibly gone? So I went and I crawled in I got a pretty big sandblaster, and I crawled inside the son of a bitch, and I'm looking there, finally saw it. It got caught on just like this little freaking lip. Like, what are the freaking chances that it got caught on that damn lip rather than going into the freaking down? So I finally got it out of there and find it. But I was like I said, an old gun. So I mean, there's
gonna get a replacement.
There's no serial number on that gun, even. It's so damn old. Just an old, what was it, 22, I believe. So yeah. Anyways. It wasted a lot of my time, but I got it, so I was pretty happy. So yeah, that was my Saturday, and then today, of course, we out shooting, having a good old time. Speaking of which, the range day was a much needed range day, I think, for all of us.
Yeah.
Instead of a competition, we did a little bit of a drill day, practice day. And the reason we do this is because if we're out just shooting steel and shooting cardboard silhouettes,
if we're
your accuracy, right?
If we're competing against each other, we're not we don't care about
as
our
long
fundamentals
as we
much.
hit
It's
within
just,
as long as we hit within a foot, you know, as long
Yeah.
as we hit, and that's fine. But today we did a 3x5 inch card drill that was kind of a doozy, and for once I think, you know, Box, no offense or anything, but I think all of us were glad that you at least frickin' struggled a little bit on this, because usually, I mean,
right.
you know, you kick our ass. So
He didn't really struggle a little bit. He struggled a lot.
Yeah. Well, it was all an act just to make you guys feel a little bit better.
well, at the
Well,
very
we
least, we
appreciate
appreciate
that.
it.
You're welcome.
So
You did. I will say, at the end of the day, you did end up with the fastest time.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it again though. To be honest, I don't know why. It was weird because that whole time, like, I've been trying to do better about tracking my sights through the shot, you know.
Mhm.
So I was doing that the whole time. But that last run that I did, I wasn't watching my sights really. I was just point shooting,
Yeah.
and I had a nice tight group, and I shot it quick. But I don't know what happened there, but I'm pretty sure it was just luck.
So the
I'd
problem
rather be lucky than good any day,
Yeah.
Box.
the problem a lot of us are facing right now when we're shooting is anticipation, and that's something that you don't realize that you have an issue with until you have a dead round or a malfunction, or your slide doesn't lock back and you pull the trigger and you always see your hand, the front of the gun dip. Some of us do it worse than others. I personally do it real freaking bad, and the only way to fix that is to throw snap caps, dummy rounds in these, so it induces a malfunction basically, you know, instead of, it doesn't go bang, so you can see how bad. And it's just, there's no freaking way to fix it. I mean, how do you fix that? Because it's all in your brain. Like, you can dry fire as much as you want. You can, and I do quite a bit, just dry fire, but that don't do shit for anticipation, because your brain knows the difference between a live round and a snap cap.
The good thing with dry fire practice is you can, especially with the red dot, in my opinion, because when you pull the trigger, you can see the dot move.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's really easy to tell what you're doing in the trigger press.
Right.
You know, and what adjustments to make. But for anticipation, no. I don't think dry fire is not helping for anticipation.
Yeah, I'm gonna
throwing snap caps in when you're live fire training, that helps. You know, that's about the only way I can think of to help with anticipation, but
right.
I don't know, man. Like,
and I've since changed my grip up within the last several weeks, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. I think I'm getting a lot better results from it. I also got to work on my actual trigger pull, because I do, between my trigger pull and anticipation, I do seem to push shit a little bit. But I was pretty happy with my 3x5 card drill. I was shooting under 5 several times, so I was, you know, for me that's pretty good. But and the whole entire thing of this, why we started this entire podcast and everything, is just improve. And I feel like we're all doing that pretty decent.
Yeah, I think we're improving. I think having these weeks of just drills and training basically is going to be a lot more productive for us improving than the competitions are.
Well, do you guys remember when we first started, when we were just shooting competitions? There was a lot of times where we would completely miss the whole silhouette target with our pistols at relatively close range. I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about. I never did that.
Yeah. No,
you guys remember I missed the metal silhouette target from like 10 feet away?
Now it's pretty rare now that we ever actually miss.
We don't usually ever miss the silhouette now. It might be outside the A zone or something, but
improvement.
Yeah, we definitely have improved. We definitely have improved. And that's, I think, you know, like when we did the viewer challenge, you know, we looked at how hard it was for us to get something that we were happy with to put out for the viewer challenge. You know, we worked on that for quite a bit to get a result that we were happy with, you know, and you know, trying to get people out there. I think people, you know, if they try and beat our times, like if people start getting into it and really trying to beat our times, they're going to realize how important it is to get out and shoot more often.
Right. And that's one thing ranking is really getting into gun. He wants us to get his concealed carry permit and shit, and I'm really really trying to get him out there just to shoot once with us, just to realize, because he's shooting at pop cans and shit,
Right.
that's one thing. But when you're really shooting and you induce a little bit of stress and you're shooting the paper target and you're seeing exactly where your shots go, it's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think all of us thought we were fairly good shots up until we started doing this back in February. And at that point, I think we all got, shown our weaknesses very quick.
I have a group of people from Sioux City. They're friends of Tasha's, and they'd like to come out someday and shoot. And
have they ever shot guns?
No, so it's gonna be awesome.
Gun virgins,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And so I told them I'd talk to you guys and see what you said. So maybe one day, instead of like our typical range day, we can do like a whole video on
Oh, yeah.
teaching people how to shoot and whatnot, and just let them come out and kind of get the feel for it and whatnot. And I told Liz we'd throw some tannerite out, and but yeah, they've either very little experience or none whatsoever. So I mean, it'd just be kind of there's 4 of them, well 5 of them with Tasha, but she's shot. She's not horrible, but it'd be kind of neat to see and make probably a pretty cool video. So.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do something like that. Just get a few new shooters that have never shot, and maybe might even be a little bit anti-gun, that just because they don't know, and that'd be freaking awesome to get some people.
Well, I figure
out there
between
and do
the
that.
4 of us, we could tell them go buy a couple boxes of 9mm apiece or something like that, and bring them out, and that way they're not burning our ammo. But it'd be kind of fun to do.
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely, tell them we are game. That's what we're all about around here. So
chuck
heck
a
yeah.
3.5-inch Magnum though, and a 12 gauge, and let one of them shoot it.
Yeah, that's probably not the best
I
introduction.
think I have some of your hand loads left for the 4570.
I know I have some left. Those things will crack an elephant skull.
We can get James down there at the 50.
There you go.
Honestly, my 4570 hurt me more than that 50 cal did when I shot it from the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. That 50
I
cal
believe
weighs
it.
so much
Yeah. It was
that the
it.
recoil from standing wasn't that bad, but like shooting that 4570 with those hand loads, it's a wicked kick.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I had some factory rounds, and I had my wife and I have a couple friends in Sioux City, and they came out and shot. This has been a couple months ago, but they came out and shot, and they were both having, it's a couple, and they were both having issues with making hits on target with pistol and stuff. And so I was kind of, helping them a little bit, kind of figuring out grip and showing them how to properly align pistol sights and just real basic stuff,
Mhm.
that just, he's a hunter, so he's always, shotgun and rifle hunt, but
Probably has a
really
scope on.
didn't have a lot of time, behind a pistol, and
Mhm.
helped him out with that. And then, I brought out the 4570 and let them both shoot that. He had bought an AR a few months before that and had never shot it. I think he had it for like 6 months and had never shot it. And I was like, "We'll come out, shoot. We'll do some pistol shooting, some rifle shooting and stuff, and let them both shoot that 4570." And he shot it fine. Well, then his girlfriend, who's, she's a pretty small statured girl, and I handed it to her, and she was a little worried about it. She handled it a lot better than I thought she would, and I'm glad she did, because those things will
Belch you.
kick you pretty hard,
Yeah.
So I just made sure she was holding it tight and, leaned forward into it. And
I really thought you were going to say
Everything.
you slipped one of the hand loads in there.
no, I let him shoot some of those 325 grain.
There's just a quick story on those hand loads. I was trying to figure out a round for deer season last year, because I used the year before I'd used the Hornady Lever Revolution, the 325 grain FTX ballistic tips, and didn't have the best experience with them. I mean, it was a big part of it was due to the really crappy scope that I had on top of that 4570, but
That's
started-
actually the round I took my deer with last year.
yeah.
Yep.
And I started reading about all these hand load and stuff, and I like to reload, so I was like, screw it. I went on Midway, and they were happened to have a sale on the bullets, and I had a whole bunch of brass because I love shooting that thing. And so I bought the bullets, bought the dies, all the stuff to do it with, and I worked up this load where it was 2.3 grains below max tolerance. I believe, was what it was. And so I was kicking a 300 grain, .458 Hornady FTX hollow point. Or FTP hollow point. I can't remember.
SP.
Anyway,
It's a soft point.
you can mix a freaking martini in this hollow point. And I took them.
First time I heard that one.
I worked up 50 rounds and I took it to the range Thanksgiving morning and got it dialed in at right at 100. Shooting pretty good group, and my shoulder actually hurt after that. I fired about 20 rounds, and I let my buddy Wolf shoot it, and he's like, Jesus Christ, So deer season comes, and I get the shot at this doe from 40 yards, and just freestanding. She's kind of quartering towards me, so I put it right behind her front shoulder, pulled the trigger, and just shit flew everywhere. Like blood. And
thanks for
not actually
Thank
shit.
God it wasn't a gunshot.
And it wasn't. But I went up to her because she dropped in her tracks, and there was an arc of blood at like 10 feet in because she kind of spun. And I'm like, holy crap, I get up there, yep, she's dead. So I flip her over. I'm like, bullet didn't come out. That's weird. Get her back to my buddy's place, hang her from the tractor in the shed, start skinning her, and the entry wound, since she was quartering towards me, was about 6 inches long. Just a gouge. Oh my goodness, And I get the skin down, and right when I pull the last of it off, the bullet dropped out of the opposite side ass cheek from where I'd shot her. It went all the way through her and got stopped by the little bitty bit of fur on the backside. And Tim looks at me, he goes, are those bullets you hand loaded? Oh, yep. He goes, might want to scale those back for next year.
Right. My shot was at about 150, 160 yards on my deer last year. And it had full penetration. Bullet went all the way through, but went out. God, you're a kid.
Yep.
But when I was skinning him, I found the ballistic tip right inside the skin on the exit wound side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little red polymer tip went all the way through with the bullet until at the skin. It dropped off just inside the skin.
Did he drop in his tracks?
Yeah, he cartwheeled. He was on a full sprint, and I was kind of hesitant to take the shot, honestly, but I was like, I know this rifle, like I was comfortable with it, and took the shot, and he rolled ass over tea kettle once, and he kind of stood up for a second, like, got up on his front two legs, took about 2 steps, and was down. It was pretty darn clean kill because the blood was pouring out of him so fast. He was not gonna make it very far.
So we're gonna tell you what, we had this topic down at the end, but we're gonna switch topics around. Being we're talking about this right now, it is, ladies and gentlemen, kicked off NFL season on Thursday, which means the hunting season is right around the friggin' corner. So yeah. It's time to get your trail cams out. Well, actually, it's past time to have your trail cams out.
If you don't have your trail cams out, at least if you're a bow hunter,
right?
You're way late.
Well, depending on what time we get out of here, I might get mine out today. I doubt it, but we'll see. I've been meaning to. I got some deer cocaine in the back of my truck that I got to go dump out there yet. And actually, it was easier to get that than I thought. I just went down to 4th Street, get some of that cocaine from Jimmy down there.
Cocaine.
Hey Johnson, while you're in there,
you got the wrong kind of deer cocaine.
I bet they'd love that shit too. I don't know.
Yeah, but can you imagine how fast they'd run? How alert they'd be?
I can't hit these sons of bitches.
Jesus Christ, they never get within 200 yards. It's like they're on cocaine. Oh.
That thing dodged my arrow.
And just to clarify, if you're watching the YouTube, Johnson did not lose today. I mean, I know he loses on a pretty regular basis, but today he did not lose, and that's not why he's getting our beer for us.
Just closest to the fridge and all around a nice guy.
Yes, you're a hell of a nice guy.
Speaking of nice guys, I did bring the whiskey of the week today.
Well, do we want to talk about the whiskey of the week right now, or continue talking about?
I don't care.
I think we can cover hunting season prep a little more.
Johnson's afraid of the whiskey.
Right,
I'm
quick.
not gonna drink it. I can tell you that.
Right,
Right
well,
now. I have
we'll
had
just-
that from there,
we'll
and
just-
I'm not doing that.
We'll just cruise right through the hunting prep.
Unlike most deer hunters, my getting to put my camera out kind of depends on if the river's flooded or not. Not really. I've got a couple other spots that I can go to, but my good spot requires me to load up the kayak and kayak across the Little Sioux River in the dark and find my way up the bank without falling back into the water, which happened last year.
That sounds horrible.
And there's big deer over there, though. And so far, the river stayed down. So as long as we don't get any massive rains like we did last year, remember that?
Yeah.
I couldn't get over there all of October. It was so flooded. And then I finally got over there, and I had pretty cool pictures of floodwater from my trail camera. But I finally went down enough I could get over there. And then last year, it freaking flooded again towards the end of the season, so I couldn't even get my camera out of there. So my camera's been chilling out in the woods since,
the batteries
last
have
September.
been dead for months.
I don't even know if it's still there, because that tree could have been swept away in the last time it flooded.
Very true. So, Sam, have you looked into getting the cameras that have like cell service on them?
Yeah,
So you
but
can
they're
just check 'em from your
stupid
phone?
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bow
I guess
hunting.
I know that they exist. I just never
It's like
priced them out.
It's like the camera itself is pretty expensive. Then it's like an added fee for your.
yeah.
It's like a cell phone
It's
plan.
sell,
Right.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because I know Tim has one, and it's down in way southeastern Iowa at their farm down there, and I don't even know if he still uses it.
Yeah.
But and
Well-
then my friend Langle's got a couple of them too, because he's got a farm down that way, and he likes them because you don't have to drive down there and check
Right.
them. But
Yeah.
that, to me, that's part of the freaking fun. I don't want to get pictures on my phone all day. I want that buildup. I want that anticipation. Because
Yeah.
you go down there and you pull your card, 2,000 pictures, holy shit!
Right.
Right.
And then you spend an hour going through it only to find out it's a bunch of raccoons, turkeys, and does.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
plus just getting out
Mhm.
out into nature and checking your like mine is it's on the other side of Pearson, so it's only like 15 miles from
Right.
not even 12 miles from here. And that's part of the reason I bow hunt is just to get out in the nature and get out, off of your phone at least a little bit and
Yeah.
sit out there and check it. But I was at Walmart the other day and bought me an 18-inch machete so I can go and clear out my land a little bit of the crap around my stand, the
There ain't
weeds.
nothing like them 18-inch Walmart machetes, I tell you. Damn, they're just the
Actually,
finest pieces of
got
equipment you
it
can
got it
buy.
at Maynard's. This is a Gerber, so it's gonna be a lot better. My last one was a Walmart machete.
Your
No,
last
my
one-
last one was a Harbor Freight machete,
Yeah.
and that thing was a
That
piece of
thing
shit.
was pretty much the most worthless machete on the planet.
Well, it chops them like the thin weeds and grass and stuff. But
It doesn't. It doesn't chop. It tears them.
Yeah,
So
pretty
you'd have
much.
been just as good with like an 8-iron.
we went out to Sam's last year, and I've got this. It's a small machete. I use it to whack through the pelvic bone on deer. It's called a camulus carnivore. Now they make the big carnivores, and then they make a medium one, and then they make the small one, the 10-inch Z. And I bought this thing at Menards because it was like $20, and I was like, "Oh, that thing's cool." It's supposed to have like a titanium coating. I don't know, whatever. It's sharp.
Yeah.
It holds an edge, and it'll whack through like a 3-inch sapling in like one blow. And we're out there. I'm just going to town. And this little 10-inch machete, and Sam's over there like, "Did you get it yet? Shut up."
Maybe I wanted to work out.
Needed the exercise.
Yeah,
But-
but yeah, I got to get out and get that all cut and my trail cam put up, and I'm kind of I like trail cams. It's nice to see what's out there, but at the same time, like I've talked to some guys around here, they've passed up some badass deer because they're waiting on their shooter deer, their target deer.
Mm-hmm.
That's never going to show up while they're in their stand.
Right.
So I don't know. I see
Well,
both
that's
sides of
something
it.
too is like studying the patterns, because
Yeah.
if that deer's there at 4:30 in the morning every morning, your stand's in the wrong spot.
Right.
Because if he's there at 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning, guess what?
He ain't you. Yeah, you got no
when
shot
you're
on him.
ready, during season, when you're sitting in your stand at 6:30, and first shooting light's what, 8:30,
Mhm.
8 o'clock ish.
No.
It depends on the
Yeah,
half hour before sunrise. Half hour
right. So
after.
usually about 8 o'clock,
No.
I would say.
7:15, so-
somewhere in that ballpark.
Regardless,
Yeah.
he's not going to be there
Right.
during shooting hours. So,
And the shitty thing about my place is it's completely dependent on when the farmers take the corn out. Because last year I was out 6 times. That deer was the second deer I'd seen, and it was the same freaking day. My deer
Yeah.
that I got. And then I went out several months afterwards and picked my camera up, and as soon as they cut the corn out, that place was a freaking buck heaven, dude. There was 500 pictures, 75%, probably 90% had deer in it, and of those pictures, 60 to 75% were bucks. It was just freaking everywhere. Because once the corn goes out, they go back in the woods for cover and shit. So I'm hoping they either have beans or they get that shit out a little bit earlier this year. But
So, other than checking cameras, what do you guys usually do to prep?
I personally, there's a lot of guys that use like salt blocks or licks or some shit. I just pour some deer cocaine, is what they call it. Something I don't even know if that's exactly what they call it. Something
It's
cocaine.
deer cocaine.
Just pour
Black
that.
magic.
It attracts them, and
Molasses
they
and
want to dig
corn
for it,
and-
and it'll be in front
Yeah.
of my camera. Just kind of attracts them and pulls them in. And I clear out shooting lanes. Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah,
do you guys have like a camo washing ritual?
No.
I do. I buy the Hunter Specialty Scent Killer laundry detergent and all that stuff, and then I keep all my stuff. Mainly because I interact with so many people and dogs and everything else on a daily basis. I don't want to really bring that home. So when I'm done hunting, I wash my clothes, I dry my clothes, and then they go in with scent dryer sheets into a box, a tote
Mm-hmm.
with a rubber gasket, and it just sits in my back hallway of my house until I'm ready to go hunting.
That's like all my hunting clothes go in a box, a sealed
Mhm.
box. Also, I keep those scent wafers that box hates so much because he hates the smell of them. But yeah, I don't use like a scent killer specialty hunting detergent. I just buy like the detergent that most people buy for like infants' clothes. It's got like 0 scent, like it's all everything free. It has no scents. It has no, fragrance added, all that stuff. So I just use that stuff, let it air dry. I don't even dry it in the dryer. I just let it air dry and then, hang it on a line outside and then throw it in my box.
All I do is I use scent blocker before I go in, and I just spray the bottom of my boots, kind of cover myself in it, head off, and that's right. I mean, my former boss, he never did nothing like that. I mean, he'd go straight from the freaking body shop out into his deer stand, smoke a cigar, and he's got dozens, hundreds of deer that he shot, and I see both sides of it,
Well, you have to, and that's part of your blind or stand placement too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if all your deer, your shooting lane is facing west, so you're going to be looking into a headwind most of the time, and the deer are coming from that direction, so you don't have to worry about it so much. But
right.
it a lot of the wind, plays into that quite a bit.
And have any of you guys, when you're sitting in the stand, like Johnson, I don't know if you don't bow hunt.
Nope.
So
I haven't. I would definitely like to. That's one thing that I'm interested in getting into.
This happened to me here a couple years ago. I shot this deer too. I was pretty impressed with myself. I'd been in the stand for a good 2 hours, and normally when I'm in the stand, I like to read a book on my phone. And where that particular stand's at, there's no way a deer can come by and I'm not going to hear or see it because there's just deadfalls. It's on this finger of timber that runs down in this really deep valley. I was sitting there. It was cold that morning, and I drank like 2 high drives on the way to the stand to wake me up. And I'm like, oh, God, I got to pee. And then I can hold it for another, hour. Well, no, I couldn't. And
So you pissed
so I
yourself.
stand up, I hang my bow on the hanger, stand up, turn around off the back of my stand, which I don't know anybody that doesn't pee off of their stand. A lot of guys take a bottle with you. It doesn't freaking matter. I've had deer come up and sniff right where I peed and then just wander around. But I'm taking a pee and I hear this snap. oh, God. And I turn and look, and about 25 yards away behind this evergreen tree coming down my trail is this nice big doe. And I'm like, I've got a doe tag, but I'm also taking a pee right now.
My wiener's out.
And so I managed to like finish taking the pee before she got past the tree.
Oh man, there's no way I'd have done that. I just stood there, pants down, drawing my bow. Because how cool of a story would it be? I shot this doe with my pants down, dick hanging out. Just
I wasn't hanging out. I tucked back in. I didn't get zipped back up, but I turned around, grabbed my bow, got an arrow. Arrow was already knocked, so I clipped on, and she's just walking down, happy as can be. And I double lunged her from about 20 yards, and she dropped about 50 yards later. But I mean, that was just funny because I was like, "Oh God, I'm taking a piss," and here comes a really nice. It was the first deer I'd seen in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they always show up at the worst times.
Last year was the worst. Last year I was like, "Screw this! I'm so fed up." Hadn't seen crap all for deer, and it was getting later in the season, and I'd been there for like 2 hours, and I was just frustrated as all hell. So I hooked my bow onto the rope, lowered it to 18 feet to the ground, turned around, stuffed my calls back in my backpack, grunt and all that, and zip my backpack up, and I hear snap. Turn around. There's the buck standing right there, just this goofy looking one. And he was goofy because he should have been like a basket 6, but his rack, instead of curving around, went up like this, and it kind of twisted on the one side. And I was like, and he had a really good body to him, and I was like, that'd be kind of a cool mount, you know? And then I'm like, well, shit, my bow's sitting on the freaking ground. And so I got my bow back up, and I actually got a shot on him, and I hit a tree branch. Like, there was a gap, about a 3-foot gap in this pine tree that he was behind, and I could see him. And I did the stupid thing of trying to shoot through the pine tree, not taking into account how much your arrows actually flex in flight.
Yeah.
And the arrow must have just ticked the branch because it snapped in half and went right underneath of him. And he looked at me, and he was gone.
Can you tell how excited Box is?
I was just gonna say we better move on to the next subject because I think Box may fall asleep. He is not a hunter, so he doesn't have much to contribute to this conversation.
Box, have you ever considered hunting?
Nope.
No, just not your thing, huh?
I didn't until
not
5
for
years
me.
ago.
Yeah,
I didn't start till I was 29.
really.
Yeah,
Box just likes to hunt chicks.
Yeah.
that's me.
He's a real ladies' man, this
chick
guy.
slayer.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, let's move on to the next little segment we got here, which we did away with it for a few weeks, and we had several comments like, "Where the hell's the whiskey of the week?" So we're gonna bring it back, even though this week is gonna be completely and totally horrible.
Let's just say it's a real locally sourced whiskey that I may or may not have had a hand in creating.
Yeah, it's I've had it before. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna rate it a big fat 1 out of 5.
I'm gonna rate it 0.
1 out of 5. Well, if you were from 1 to 5, it's a straight 1, maybe even a 0.5. It's not good.
Johnson, will you hand us the glasses, please?
Do we have to take it out of the glass? Can't we just pull it out of the frickin'?
Yeah.
I don't really care.
He's got it in a flask. So anyway, yeah, this
It's
is
right here. It
this
doesn't
is-
come in your standard bottle. It
This is
pretty
homemade
much drips
moonshine.
out of a pipe into this, if you know what I mean.
Has it been cut to 100, or is it just
No, I think we tested this out at right around 163 proof.
good?
So it's not something. It's not something that you want to be,
I actually
sipping
used
on,
some
but
of
we're
it
too
to
freaking stupid.
light my burn barrel a few weeks back. It burns a very blue color. It smells like you would expect.
Paint thinner.
Death.
No, you can definitely tell this is made from corn mash. It kind of smells like it, but
No, I've had this before, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Oh my God, I'm blind.
I can kind of see his,
How many
his
fingers am I
eyes
holding
watering
up?
now.
oh man, I feel like I could breathe fire right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna
Smooth,
chase
huh?
it. I'm gonna chase it. I'll tell you that right now.
It's not actually like super harsh.
You guys want some pickle juice?
No, I'll chase it with water and
Yeah,
potato
do you
chips.
have any?
Yeah,
No, I
Do
don't.
you
want
really?
it's in the house. I do actually have
No,
pickle juice.
That's a waste of time.
We used to chase pickle juice or chase whiskey with pickle juice all the time, and it kills it. Just absolutely kills it.
It's not that bad.
What do you
yeah,
think? 1
that's
out of
good.
5, Box? What do
It's
you
not that good.
What do you rate it? 1 out of 5.
2.
All right. So it's not getting as bad a reviews as I thought.
I wouldn't say it's a bad first try.
Well,
That's awful.
They've been.
That was absolutely miserable. I've drank gasoline before. And that's better than that.
I've had gasoline in my mouth and it tasted better than this shit.
I'm not so sure I can taste everything right now at this point, though. So
No,
maybe
my
that's
tongue feels
working to
kind of
my
numb,
advantage.
actually.
Well, you know, I bet Box, if
miserable.
you hit a few more swigs of this, you probably feel better.
Nah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, though, is if you mix that with, like a Monster or something,
So
it's a hell of a lot better.
Or I've had, not made, but I've had apple pie that the other gentleman
gonna be
involved
okay,
in
Sam?
making that. I can't feel my face.
It does warm the throat.
It's not as bad as I remember it.
I've had apple pie made with not that particular batch, but a different batch that when we tested it, it was at 184 proof, and
Yeah, we had one batch that was right around there, too.
before cutting it with water, they took some inside and made a batch of hot apple pie with it.
That shit is delicious.
Yeah, you
and
know
it's
how
dangerous, man.
freaking torched people were.
Oh, my
It's
God.
like, oh, let me drink, 2 mason jars of apple
you don't
pie
realize-
made with this crap.
You don't realize how strong that shit is. It's so good, and
No,
it does it masks the alcohol so good.
I knew better. I was like, no, thank you.
I
I'm
had
gonna
some-
not partake.
Well, when we were at the Black Hills riding four-wheelers, we were kind of running low on booze, so our host was like, well, I've got some real Kentucky moonshine. I'm like, all right, well, he came out with a bottle, like a bottle you buy in store. I'm like, that's not real moonshine, But it was pretty much comparable to this shit, so I was mixing it with those white sugar-free Monsters with ice and whatnot, and it was pretty freaking good. Of course, I was pretty well hammered at that point, but
Yeah, everything tastes
I drank
good.
about 5 of those things, and I don't think I could find my feet if I tried. And so a while back, I didn't have any beer enough at the house, and I was going to split some firewood. And I always like to have a drink when I'm doing, splitting the firewood. And I was like, well, I got a couple of energy drinks in the fridge, so I mixed up some of that with a couple of, some Monster. I had 1, then I had 2, then I had 3, and by 4 I was like, holy shit! When we had
Me
3
handling
of
an
these
axe is
things,
starting to get dangerous.
I was like, we had 3 of these things, and I am partially smoked. I was like, I better stop. So, yeah, I quit splitting firewood because it was getting kind of hard to hit the
Wise
round.
choice.
I bet we could sell this for some real good money to some hipsters or something.
I bet
like,
you're
hey,
right.
small batch whiskey,
Small
put it
batch.
in a real fancy
Small
bottle.
batch, locally sourced and
That's
made.
also illegal as hell.
Only bottle left.
Yeah, you can't.
You
If you make
cannot-
it, you can make it
cannot
for
sell it.
yourself, but you cannot sell it. So,
You gotta have
I-
have a license.
I looked into that, and that is not true. You
Mm.
cannot just make it for yourself and have it be legal. It is
You can
illegal to
no,
make.
it's not. You can make moonshine
you
No,
can
for
make it
you
yourself.
you can have the components to make it yourself if you're caught making more than
Yeah,
a
it's
certain
a
amount.
certain
More-
amount.
right? But
But we never go over the certain amount.
Yeah.
either way,
okay.
you cannot sell it.
Yeah.
You can make it for yourself,
Only
but if
made
you
12
sell
gallons.
it, that's why they
No,
chase
the-
the Dukes of Hazzard so much.
Yeah,
We
we
they were
don't
doing illegal shit like that, which
we
we do
don't-
not condone.
come close to that. But
Just kidding, do it if you
yeah,
want.
it's always just a small batch, but it's more of an excuse for a bunch of us to get together and drink beer and play bags and in a shop. And usually like the one time we had a turtle fried some turtle or some fish or something. But
the fifth member of our podcast that
The
never
pretend member.
never was on our podcast got him a still. He showed up here one day, and he had the whole he had it in the back of his truck, the whole damn thing. He just ordered it in. So I don't know if he ever got around to making it or not.
I doubt
he's
it
got all the
because him and I went to the scrapyard up north that gets all the stainless from Wells,
Mm-hmm.
and I have in my corn crib all the parts and everything required to make a still. I have all of it, all the parts and everything to make a still, all sitting together in my corn crib, and that was his deal too. Oh, we're gonna make a still. We're gonna make a still, and I've had that shit for I don't know 7-8 years.
Oh no, this was just like
You know what I
And
just
it's
thought
never
of?
moved.
this was just like
Life
three-
short, live free whiskey.
Oh,
F&A cotton. That sounds fantastic to me. I like expanding our business opportunities.
I have legit everything to make a still all together, ready to go.
I might
Just
have
needs
I
built.
might have a line on some small wooden cast too if
Yeah.
we decide to go ahead with this.
So we're really dragging. We're 50 minutes into this podcast, and we've made it through like four
Two.
topics.
Yeah, the intro, range day, and sponsor.
And hunting, the hunting deal. So yeah, whiskey of the week. So we're really slacking, but we're having. You know what? We're having a damn good time.
Yeah, I spilled some of that moonshine on my chin, and it kind of ran down my neck, and now my neck kind of feels like it's burned.
You're missing hair down there. You know
Is that what that is?
So we're gonna roll on into the next thing, and we're gonna leave the politics out of this because nobody wants to listen to that bullshit. We're just gonna hit on real quick the Walmart ammo deal. You guys' take on it, whether it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. So basically, Walmart has recently said that they're going to stop selling 5.56 millimeter and 223 caliber, as well as I think they said all handgun ammunition.
They did, but you forgot that they're going to stop selling 5.56 and 223 because it's for short-barreled rifles.
Which doesn't even make any sense because 5.56 and 223 in short-barreled rifles is shit. It's probably about the worst short-barrel rifle ammo you can think of. So them calling it that was ridiculous in and of itself. But the little things about this is obviously it might be good for local gun shops because Walmart took 20% of the ammo sales in America. So I think this is two ways to think of this. This is either going to push all the ammo sales back to local gun shops, people that support the Second Amendment, or it's going to raise prices. One of the two, because if they're buying 20% of the ammo, and now they stop buying it, prices go up.
Well, I think it's going to do both. I think prices are going to go up, but also people are still going to buy it and buy it from local gun shops. I think it's going to do both.
Well, the few that I've talked to,
of course, I don't know because the supply the demand is still the same and the supply.
No, it's not. The demand just dropped significantly because Walmart stopped buying that amount of ammo.
That's not true. The demand is how much people want it, so the supply would drop because there's less people carrying it, which would
no, because Walmart is buying from distributors. Walmart's buying from these manufacturers,
I know,
and
but
if they lose 20%,
the end user is the demand.
Well, so, if small town gun shops can pick up that massive amount of money,
but I'm saying the demand from the end user is still going to remain the same.
Yes,
people aren't going to stop shooting because Walmart quit carrying the ammo.
Right.
So the demand is going to stay the same. The supply has now decreased because that store who sold 20% of it is no longer carrying it.
So you're saying prices are going to go up too?
Yes.
Well, we're saying this, so we're just right.
Yes.
I don't think anything's going to happen.
You don't think it's going to matter?
No, I don't think it's going to affect anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could
It's going to affect sales on gun shops and online stuff, but as far as that goes, I don't think anything's going to happen.
You don't think prices will go up?
No.
So are you?
I'm curious to see what does happen because like online retailers, I think they'll boost the prices up because they know that people can't get it from Walmart anymore. I don't think the manufacturer will increase prices. I just think the retailer will increase prices.
I think cheaper than dirt will, but I don't see many.
I don't think most people will. You
don't think?
Nah. I mean, because really only 20%. I mean, there's still the other 80% that people can buy from. Right. You know, it's not like all of a sudden. We just.
Yeah, I see what you're saying too.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting. The other question is, are you guys going to stop shopping at Walmart?
I hated Walmart before.
See, I don't mind Walmart because I buy groceries there. It's close to my house. It's convenient and it's cheaper than Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of guys that are super pissed at them.
Well, honestly, I never freaking bought ammo at Walmart anyway until you went there a couple weeks ago and bought 1,000 rounds for $160 or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. I before that the last
that really
time
pisses me off because that was cheap. It was as cheap as I could buy it anywhere online. Like
without
gun show price,
But
$170 for 1,000 rounds.
Well, there was
I hadn't bought ammo at Walmart since probably high school.
Yeah.
There was a poll on, I think it was Concealed Carry Nation the other day. It says, "Are you going to stop shopping at Walmart?" And 70% of them said yes. And I'm like, bullshit. You're not going to frickin' stop shopping there.
They will for a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
I mean, just because. Well, it'd be one thing if they didn't say you can't carry a freaking gun in there anymore. They just says, "Hey, please don't open carry in here."
Mm-hmm.
Which you guys are gonna jump on me for this, but it doesn't really seem that weird to me that a business of that size would say, "Hey, stop carrying open in our store."
I don't think
They didn't say you can't freaking carry, and guess what? I don't give a hey while you're in there, I don't give a damn about it anyways because I don't I don't open carry, So I see their argument when they're saying, there's the pissed off guy saying I can't carry open there, anymore. Well, I don't know.
I don't like the whole concept of open carry because it makes you a target in the first place.
Well,
I mean, it makes you a target for assholes, and then it makes you a target for a potential shooter too, because he's going to see you and be like, "Oh, holy crap, that guy must be a cop or something like that."
it's
but anyway,
not gonna be there's a guy with a gun. I better not come in here and shoot this place up.
He doesn't know I'm going to shoot this place up.
Well,
and he's not looking at me. I'm going to shoot him
frankly,
first.
I'm not a big fan of open carry.
I'm not either. I don't open carry, except when I'm working at the gun shop. But I think the argument is that you're a target for a mass shooter. Yes, you're a target for dipshits and assholes. I 100% agree with you. But the whole thing is you're a target for a mass shooter. No, that guy walks in there. The only thing he sees is people, targets. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know if you have a gun on your hip. He probably wouldn't know if you had a freaking AR slung on your back. This guy is batshit crazy and don't know shit.
Right.
And frankly, I don't think there's ever been an instance, and correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, please send an email to me, comment on this, and say you're a freaking idiot. But I don't think there's ever been a mass shooting incident where somebody targeted an open carrier.
No,
I don't think there has been.
Did you see? This has been a couple of years ago.
The only thing that bothers me about this whole Walmart ammo ban thing is that every large company thinking they need to have a political agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they have?
Well, the headline I saw was Walmart says you're going to stop this, and it was a CNN. Walmart bans carrying concealed in stores. Well, that's not what they did. They banned open carry in their stores. And then it's like Kroger follows suit. And I was like, first off, what the fuck is a Kroger? I had to look it up.
Huge grocery
Pretty
store.
big.
Yeah, and I was like,
huge.
Well, we don't have those in Iowa.
Yeah.
But
they did something years ago though about
they're a kind of almost like a Whole Foodsy type of shit. No. I think. Well, they're more.
It's super popular. Texas, Ohio, basically everywhere except like South Dakota, Nebraska.
I hear we're getting an Aldi.
Yeah.
In Sioux City,
but no, Kroger's huge, and I feel like a couple years ago they did something about not selling ammo or not.
Yeah, Kroger did something. I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was, but I know a couple years ago, it's like they didn't follow suit with Walmart. They have done away with this stuff years ago.
Anyways, our page, our Facebook page, it wasn't meant to be political. It was just I'm being a smart ass. We want to stay away from politics on our page, but I was being a smart ass. I put up a meme that says back in 2017 there was around 10,000 drunk driving deaths, 400 rifle deaths. Walmart bans rifles. Walmart, well, they stopped selling the majority of popular rifles. They still sell bolt actions and things like that, but they still sell alcohol. So this was our little meme, and the internet jumped on it. It was shared like
256,000 times.
Yeah, 250,000 times. And by the time that we deleted it, because we were tired of the bullshit and the riffraff we were getting off of it, it reached 9.6 million people. Riffraff, you don't like that word either, do you?
What are you, 100 years old?
So it was just like some of the stupidity. This one guy came on here and he told me that why he says, well, why are you only counting rifle deaths? Why aren't you counting hard liquor versus beer deaths? this was literally his argument. So yeah, and you know, we don't want to be that kind of page. We don't want to be a freaking political page. We're just here to have fun and educate people a little bit.
And the thing is, it was
getting so out of hand. We just, you know, and we're getting a shitload of likes out of it, but it wasn't worth our time. We just says, F this, delete, you know, and probably, you know, a lot of people, probably if I talked to some business people and I told them that I just deleted a post with 10 million people reached, that think I was batshit crazy. I don't give a shit. That's not our target audience. That's not what we want to go to.
Right.
That's not what we, you know, so it's not what we're about. So I had no problem deleting.
Apparently, all we're about is living out our Red Dawn fantasies with our tiny penises.
and playing army.
Yes, I'm gonna. If you're listening to this, it's either gonna be on Wednesday or Thursday, and I back on Monday. Go back to our Facebook. I'm gonna post this tomorrow. We're recording this on a Sunday, obviously, but I'm gonna post this guy. He posted these needle dicks living out their Red Dawn fantasies and
a bunch of weak, frightened sissies.
Sissies with needle dicks playing army and living out their Red Dawn fantasies.
And you know, I find it absolutely hilarious that so many times the first thing that they do is start talking about our genitals.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like the liberals think if you like guns and you like to hunt, you must have a tiny dick.
Well, I just don't understand how that equates to you know. So I reported the post for sexual harassment.
He did too.
Well, we're yet to see if Facebook does anything about it. I doubt they will. But yeah, go back and look at the post. It was published on Monday. So we all just started laughing our ass off at the whole deal. Though.
Well, here's the thing. I was 400 miles north. Crappy cell service. I'm in a boat, and my phone, when I hit a service spot, it's just like ding, 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 ding. It just kept going off and off. And Tasha's like, "What is that?" I was like, "Getting notifications from our Facebook page." So we go back to the cabin that night, and literally the last time I looked at our Life Short Lived Free page, we had like 698 followers, and all of a sudden it had jumped up to like 4,000, and I'm like, "What have they done while I was gone? Like, what did they do?" So I went and I looked, and I'm like, "Oh God!"
In the matter of
Tasha's like, "What?"
4 days.
Tasha goes, "What?" I go, "Somebody did a post on our group page, and it's reached like 8 million people and been shared like 167,000 times."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." And some of these comments aren't very nice.
You know what?
It was funny though.
We decided we were trying to shut off the comments on it, but apparently you can't do that. And then we decided we'd just stop engaging with them just because. Yeah,
that didn't help.
Well, I thought it was 90% were positive comments, and the other 10%, pretty much, the other 90% just dove in and just
talking about our dicks,
completely demolished them, anyways.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, we deleted it, got done, we were done with that crap. Like, we don't want to be a political page, so. But it was fun while it lasted.
And then I followed it up with another smart ass post, I guess.
And that's got like 17,000 shares, or 1,700 shares at this point.
Yeah. And so many people thought it was.
I couldn't believe that. Anyways,
yeah.
We're gonna move on.
Oh, that was you that did that?
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. Where can you find those for $10, by the way?
I don't know.
You know what? We're gonna talk about one more subject. Unless you guys just want to keep on rolling, we're over an
I got
hour.
nothing. It's only
Screw
4:30.
Screw it. Box, tell us about this new 365 SAS. What in the hell is this?
Well, the SAS stands for SIG Anti-Snag, actually.
Oh,
It's
boy.
so I mean, there could be a very limited market for this, but I think it's just a very stupid design.
SAS stood for Special Air Service, but
Yeah.
What is it? Is it a gun?
Yes, it's another variation of the SIG 365.
Okay.
And
You're just gonna ride this thing till it dies, aren't you?
Your phone background is a picture of you. That is the most
I like that picture. Leave me alone.
narcissistic thing I've ever seen anyone do.
Bite me. But anyways, on the side here, they
Oh my
set
God.
in the slide lock lever and everything, so it's just like a smooth side, and then it doesn't have any sights on the top. You'll see.
It's just
There's another Taurus curve.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
just a trench.
Have you? Nope. It's different than that. Have you heard of these? They're I don't know how you say it. The Mipro lights or whatever.
Nepro lights.
Yeah. It's
Oh
yeah.
my God.
You put that
But
little.
it's a trench.
Yeah, it's set down inside the top of the slide, and you put this little green dot inside the circle, kind of like
Oh
how a
my
red
God.
dot sight works. And apparently, the way it works is if you're don't have it perfectly centered, you don't see the outer edge of the circle. And these sights have been around for a while now, I think.
So wait, this is just on the top of it?
It's a whole new.
It's
pistol.
set down inside.
Even the controls are like the
Yeah, the slide release and everything is like Frenched into the side of this thing.
And they've also ported the barrel, which.
So what are they trying to like? Are we into Mexican carry now, or what the hell's going?
I don't.
Because what are they
understand
trying to? What are they trying
where
to
they're
stop?
going for this?
What do you mean by Mexican?
You just jam it in your pants.
No holster.
You don't have a holster.
I don't really understand what they're like. Oh, the front sight's a big snag point. What are you? What are you snagging
If you
on?
have a holster, what are you snagging it on?
And especially the slide release. How could that possibly get snagged on anything? If anything, that's just making it a super inconvenient for you to release the slide at all at any point. And those sights, I've read a little bit about
I wonder how many like mall concealed carriers are going to be.
Right.
This thing.
Those sights, I've read a little bit about them. I'm not sure what I think about them. I think personally, without having handled them at all, I think they're stupid. But I don't know. Maybe some people out there actually like them. But I think the only people that these sights will appeal to are the people that don't get out and shoot often at all.
Yeah. It's like the see-all sights.
Kind of, yeah.
I applaud innovation, but this just seems like trying to fix a problem that nobody has.
Well, then they had to go and throw the ported barrel on there. And this is perfect.
So let's take this big chunk out of the Let's take this big chunk out of the slide for the ported barrel and make another big snag point on it, since it's a big cutout on the slide.
Yeah. But I could maybe see this as, I don't know, the only real reason I could see to carry this is for real up close and personal type encounters where you're not going to aim at all, where it's you pull it out and you fire and there's from retention. But then there's the case of the ported barrel, where ported barrel's firing from retention is just awful. It's not a good idea at all. You're having hot gas shoot out in your face, unburnt powder in your face. Probably going to blind yourself. Good chance of getting powder in your eyes and stuff like that. And so I don't know what exactly they were doing with this.
Well, you have to walk around with eye protection on all the time.
Yeah. It'll probably sell. I don't foresee it selling well.
Yeah.
But I bet there's going to there's going to be people that buy it and they don't shoot it, and then they're going to be like, works out great for me.
You know, SIG has been knocking out of the park lately, and they can't win on everyone. So maybe they just...
Well, they didn't even really announce this one. They just kind of pushed it out the door. They're like, have it.
I have a dumb pistol I saw the other day that really just kind of infuriated me. The whole concept behind it and everything. That stupid credit card pistol. Have you seen that damn thing?
The 22?
Yes.
Yeah.
What in the fuck was somebody thinking when they made that? Sorry, I gotta bleep that out. But it's like, oh, I'm going to buy this pistol for concealed carry. It holds 2 shots, a 22 long rifle, and in order to deploy it, I have to pull it out of my ass pocket and unfold this fucker, and then I got to aim it, and it doesn't have any damn sights. It's like $500. It's like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my friggin' life. Why would you buy that?
Are you talking about this credit card or cell phone?
No, the credit card.
It's like this big. It's the
size of a credit card, but about 4 or 5 cards thick.
It is, and it offended the shit out of me, to be honest with you.
It offended you, really? Do you want to talk about your feelings now, Todd?
And then I'm going to use it as target practice. I'm going to do a video on how shitty it is, and then I'm going to shoot it.
Who did that?
That's an expensive video.
I thought Box did.
Oh my God.
Sweet Jesus.
Who was that? course it
Toad,
was you.
you're
That
now
was
offended.
bad,
I've
man.
never heard you say this before, but Toad is offended.
I was yawning.
I was offended by the
It got
concept.
my mouth.
Oh, sweet Lord!
It's
Apparently,
in-
we got some issues going on over there.
Yeah,
Box is
Johnson's-
already sick, and
This is
Johnson
what happens when you eat peanut butter covered Fritos.
Johnson
Yeah.
just contributed to it. So we got a couple
Sorry,
more.
Box. Oh,
Fucking hooks hurt.
man.
This is taking a downturn. We got 2 more topics I want to talk about. And then I know this is a long episode, guys, but you know what? We're having fun. So screw it. We're just going to keep on rolling. This weekend, Thursday was we mentioned it before, the NFL kickoff.
Yay.
And yeah, I know. I don't contribute any money. None of my money will ever go towards the NFL. Because of the bullshit they pull. But you know what? I enjoy watching it. And I'm not going to let some freaking stupid dumbass commies take away something I enjoy.
You still
So-
listen to Eric Church, too.
So I'll watch it, and I enjoy doing fantasy football with a group of us friends. We've been doing it for 6, 7, 8 years now, and we enjoy it. So you know what? You commie bastards, you're not going to take this away from me. I enjoy it. So anyways, this was the NFL kickoff on Thursday. Today was the rest of the teams. And one thing I want to talk about was this Antonio Brown character. I don't know if you two...
I'll bet 90% of our listeners just clicked out of this video.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. All I'm gonna well, if they haven't after over an hour of listening to us bullshit about nothing,
Miles will still be listening at this point.
yeah,
Thanks, Miles.
yeah. So,
And
Yep.
Thanks, Wade.
And probably James.
yeah.
Thanks to our 2 listeners.
James, Miles, and Wade, we love you guys.
Yep.
So anyway, I don't know if you guys knew what this Antonio Brown character pulled, but he's probably, as of last year, he's one of the best. He led the NFL in receiving touchdowns last year with the Steelers. This year, he was on the Raiders, and he didn't even make it until their first game. He acted like such a petulant bitch. He
Do you have to bleep that word out? too?
No, he did not show up to their practices, and at one point he screamed at the coach and called him, I think, a cracker or some shit like that. Is it, some racist?
Not even the coach, the general manager.
The general manager, yes, and then
Solid choice.
so the Raiders sent him a letter that says, "Hey, we can fine you a lot of money if you don't start behaving." So he posted the picture of this letter on Instagram because that's the mature thing to do.
Mm-mm.
And at the beginning of the year, he was also bitching about the NFL's new helmet policy to make all of them safer. And he was crying and bitching and refused to wear the new helmet. He wanted to wear his old helmet and all this shit. And then, so actually, and I loved how the Raiders dealt with this. So what they did, they made him, they kind of soothed everything over, and then they made him come into practice, made him apologize to the coaches and the general manager and the players. And he thought everything was cool.
And then they dropped him like an old sack of
and then
shit.
they says, "Oh yeah, and by the way, you're not getting your $30 million guarantee because if you look in your contract, you act like a dumb shit, and we don't have to pay you nothing." and so finally, and finally after all that, they dropped him, and everybody knew he was going to pay the Patriots after this. It was within 3 to 4 hours after they dropped his ass that the Patriots signed him. And so, because the Patriots have a history of dealing with dumb like him. So, but my thing is, and this is not a 60 seconds with Sam, but how conceited and whiny bitch can you be? Look at your talent potential. Like, you could be the best player in the NFL, and you were a couple years, but now you let it all go to your head. And you threw away $30 million because you're too proud to show up to practice.
Right.
Because you think you think you're better than everybody else, and you don't have to practice. Like, welcome to America, bitch. This is this.
You don't get to be
still
the
have
best
to work
without working for it.
Exactly. And it just boggled my mind how conceited and freaking stupid this. Now, you know what? I never hated the Patriots. I don't hate them now. But guess what? I'm going to cheer against them because I sure as hell hope they have a shit season so this son of a bitch doesn't get rewarded for his petulant
Antics.
bitching and crying.
Yeah.
You know what? At least he wasn't bitching about America, so whatever. But What a douche. What a douche.
That's probably a matter of time.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't think any of you guys have any more opinions on that topic, so I'm just gonna roll on right through it.
I don't watch football.
But we're gonna roll on to our and Johnson was extremely excited about this segment, the Florida Man.
You know,
episode.
Sam, instead of Florida Man, that little sound bite that you just had there, what a douche. I think that's a good name for to replace Florida Man.
All right.
Again.
So this is our new
What a
segment.
douche.
What a douche. And of course, just like every week, we got a new sponsor. This is the new sponsor. Hidden Valley is coming out with a Hidden Valley Ranch energy drink. And let's be honest, here in the Midwest, chips, crackers, pizza, wings, they're all just a delivery system for ranch. So they've come out with a new energy drink. You get the same milky consistency of ranch, and you don't have to deal with none of the bullshit of that other stuff. So it comes in an energy drink can. Just swig that stuff down. It's got all your nutrients. You don't even have to eat anything else all day. It's got all your nutrients you need. So it's going to be coming out in Dollar General within the next 2 weeks. So make sure you check that out.
It also comes in a light version.
Hidden Valley Ranch Energy Drink Light as well. Yeah, so check it out.
And later on, I hear they're coming out with a version that has bacon bits in it.
And buttermilk.
Yep.
Buttermilk. That one's not as healthy.
I'm really looking forward to the one with bacon bits in it. I will chug the shit out of that.
So what is our what a douche?
I think we should just play the video. I don't even think it needs an introduction here.
No, play the video.
I'm just going to
Can I
play
get a
the
beer before
video
we play the video?
and some audio for you guys here.
This is... Johnson literally giggled when he pulled this up.
Oh, sure. I guess you got one in your hand. I might as well take it.
All right. Well,
Thanks, bud.
And here we go.
Can't see how they haven't come up with some kind of way to combat these storms yet. They keep saying, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, oh, it said this, but it's going to hit all this warm weather. All this warm weather and warm water. We have a Navy. Why don't the Navy come and drop ice in the warm water so it can't get going as fast as it's going? There's got to be ways to combat this instead of just pointing at the thing and say, well, now it's getting worse. We know it's getting worse.
Hurricane.
But you tell us, oh, it's the warm weather. Oh, it's the wind. Well, we have an Air Force. Drive some Air Force planes around to get the winds going the opposite way. Get the Navy to go in circles to fight it the other way.
Wow, that guy is an intelligent son of a bitch. Why doesn't
you can really tell that guy's from the East Coast, somewhere around probably Boston.
Yeah. Why doesn't Trump make him the head of the National Weather Service?
Oh,
I have never laughed so hard as the first time I watched that video. I was at work and somebody sent me a link to this and was like, "This guy needs to be in the government," and I laughed so hard. It's like, well, he's got answers for everything. There's warm water. Pour ice in the warm water. That'll fix it. There's wind and hot weather. Fly some Air Force planes around and push the wind the other way. Boom. Solved it. No more hurricanes. Florida's safe.
Apparently that guy never got a lesson on how the Earth works, the rotation of the Earth, how winds generated, shit like that.
Oh, boy.
Air currents and whatnot.
Well, if you just fly them around in circles.
They just
get the wind blowing the other way.
Get some of them F-35 stealth planes up there and just do a counterclockwise on that hurricane. It'll turn the other way and maybe hit Cuba or some shit. I don't know, but as long as it doesn't hit Florida where I live in this trailer park, we'll be all right, I don't get how somebody that stupid gets on the news.
Exactly.
No, wait, I do. That's clickbait.
It makes for good entertainment.
Oh man, that was the greatest interview I have ever seen in my entire life. Followed closely by that Australian guy about the dogs. Have you seen the Australian guy?
No, we'll have to check it out.
Oh man,
I don't know that one chick from down south talking about her having a fire in their apartment.
Oh, that one's pretty good too. Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire!
No, she was talking about
not
today. We're getting out of here.
Yeah.
That was pretty good too. But
Oh man,
I have something this is way off topic and a lot more sad, but so Sam is a hunter, I'm a hunter, Johnson's a hunter. Box, I know your dad's a big fan of rabbit hunting. Or well, you guys like to rabbit hunt anyway. So my sister called me the other day, and she called me to tell me their VA loan got approved. They're buying a house. They're moving to a small town from the town they live in now. But she was really upset. And my sister's a big animal lover, and her, my mom, and my little sister will never eat anything that I've hunted or brought home. Even the time I got a really nice turkey, we couldn't have it for Thanksgiving because I killed it. And I'm like, Mom, at least you know where it came from. You know, but anyway, one of her neighbors up the street, I guess, is just batshit insane, some lady, and has a garden, and the rabbits were eating her garden. Well, that's what rabbits freaking do. You know, spread some freaking paprika and whatnot around your garden, it'll help. This lady goes into her neighbor's yard, hunts down the rabbits, finds the den, stuffs it full of twigs and dead grass, dumps gas on it, lights it on fire, and burning bunnies come running out of it.
Where the f did you even think of this shit?
My sister is telling me this, and my girlfriend and her mom started one of the biggest animal rescues in the state of Iowa, and she's like, who can I call to report this? I was like, there's nobody you can call but your local sheriff, your town cop. And I said, but you need to do it because that's some serial killer level shit right there. And I said, that lady needs to be closely monitored, not only because she burned baby bunnies alive, but because that's one hell of a fire hazard. It's a fireball on the run that you can't control.
Toad, my question is, how the hell did we go from Florida man, excuse me, whatever our new segment is, douche, whatever, what a douche, to burning bunnies? Where the...
I don't know, but that's our new podcast title.
Crazy,
oh my god,
people.
Guys, I'm sorry the shit got real dark and depressing here real quick.
I just wanted to tell that story.
Hilarious.
What the...
I mean, I've shot probably hundreds of rabbits over the years, you know, but even when I find like a nest of baby bunnies when I'm mowing or something, I move them. I won't run them over or go around them. You know, they're cute as shit, and then when they get older, they're delicious. But I'm not gonna light them on freaking fire. It's like, good God.
That reminds me of my wife with all the mama raccoon nursing all of her babies in the tree in the front yard.
What about the ones in the tree pile where I waylaid 60 rounds of 223 into there?
They moved from the tree in the front yard. Once they could walk on their own, they all crawled to the wood pile. But there was a mama in a hole in the tree in our front yard. And she had, 6 or 8 babies in there with her. And I was going to dispatch these raccoons. We have chickens and dogs and a couple cats in the barn. And
a curious 3-year-old.
Yeah. And I didn't think it was very nice to have, 9 raccoons 20 yards from the front door of our house. I wasn't all that excited about that. And my wife told me that I cannot shoot those raccoons. I cannot stick a chainsaw in the hole in the tree. And
oh, sweet Jesus.
I was not allowed to dispatch these raccoons until they were adults. She said, when they're babies, you can't kill them. When they become adults, you can shoot every single one of them. I was like, well, this just doesn't make any damn sense.
All right. Well, since this episode has devolved into animal cruelty, I guess I don't know how we went from the hilarious topic,
called population control.
hilarious topic of Florida man and what a douche to where we've gotten now. But that is a magic.
I think we just. It's not even 5 o'clock. We should probably just come up with some more topics.
That's the magic of this podcast.
Let's go until the beer's gone.
No, we're over an hour 20 yet. So, and I brought plenty of beer. So, anyways, we do have to go live after this anyway, Toad. So, we're gonna call this an episode. If you made it, please comment below and let me know that you actually did make it.
You'll find it on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. The title will be "Burning Bunnies."
No, I'm not gonna name it.
Nope, not doing that.
It's gonna be named "What a Douche." But anyways, it was a fun one, as it always is. You never know what's gonna come out of these I don't. You don't know what's going to
Yep.
come out of their mouth.
Yep.
Also, I don't.
Sam doesn't even know what's going to come out of his mouth.
Also, I don't talk good, so I might name it that again. I don't talk good number 2.
Again, thanks, James, Wade, and Miles, for
Yeah,
listening to
appreciate you guys
the
listening. And if you guys did actually make it through, please let us know. We'd love to hear it.
I like how he's like,
All right. Anyways, love all you guys. It's been fun. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in a couple weeks. We'll also probably do another live.
Check out all of our other social media if you're watching this on YouTube. Check out Facebook if you're listening to us. Check out our Facebook page. Check out our YouTube page. We do some other videos over there. And we've usually on our Facebook we've usually got all of our YouTube videos linked, if not just shared directly to YouTube. So
check out Ballistic Imagery on Facebook as well. He does some pretty cool shit. And he's also
Guy's
the
talented with a
videographer. I don't even know.
videographer.
Did I say that?
Videographer.
Videographer. I don't know how to talk very good.
and like all
He's-
good, true artists, his attitude tends to be moody most of the time.
It's true, but we love him. Anyways, thanks guys for listening, and until we talk to you next time, remember, life's short, live free. God bless.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Slante.
That devolved into a shit show.
Oh, yeah.